Hello everyone, Pineaaronapple here with the second season of the Ninth Doctor Adventures audio dramas. Box Set 1, Back to Earth. We have here another 3 stories from Big Finish and Christopher Eccleston reprising his role as the Ninth Doctor. Last time we had a nice one-off story and an entertaining series finale. Let's see how they start the new season and get into the first story. The series starts with Station to Station, written by Robert Valentine. This was not how I was expecting the season to start. A strange, ethereal and claustrophobic story starring a cast of strange characters and a dark times feeling monster that has a name off with the Doctor. Starting off, we meet this episode's one-off companion, Saffron. Hold on, I think I have some of that growing in the garden. She is visiting her parents because of her insecurities and finds herself trapped in a station her train stops at. She is met by the Doctor, who was also drawn into the station. His TARDIS disappearing and villain's appearance there setting it up well as a threat. Said villain is calling itself the Griminy Gru. The TARDIS disappears at the station and is moved to a strange area out of time. Our duo comes across many side characters who are trapped in the station realm, living out faded memories of their moments in the station, brought together by the Doctor and Saffron. They start to find their memories as they talk to each other, no longer trapped and isolated under the station's power. The Doctor then has a great standoff with the Griminy Gru, in a scene much like the one in the Rumpelstiltskin story, or The Hobbit. I appreciated the references in the story as well, such as to Lungbarrow and Theta Sigma. The episode ends with all characters going their own ways in a beautiful scene, where the people make their last wishes before unexpectedly being separated back to their own times, now able to rectify the problems in their life that they outlined earlier. The episode ends with the Doctor whistling the Griminy Gru's tune as it fades to credits. The Doctor was great here as always, really working off the assorted characters well and having fantastic moments with both the Griminy Gru and when the cast makes their way back. Saffron was played by Indigo Griffiths, who has only appeared in one other Doctor Who audio, and was pretty good here. Nothing to write home about, but was serviceable for a one-off companion. The Griminy Gru was played by Ian Bartholomew, who was sufficiently creepy. Although his voice must have been edited in post, his inflections and energy still being carried along well though. The rest of the cast were decent, but again, nothing that amazing. So this story had a great atmosphere, decent cast, and a creepy story that kept my attention and kept me engaged, following on from the tone of the last box set. I'll give Series 2, Episode 1, Station to Station by Robert Valentine, an 8 out of 10. Next was Episode 2, The False Dimitri, by Sarah Grochala. In 1605 Moscow, the Tsar is dead and looking to be replaced. The Doctor arrives to meet a woman who sees the ghost of the dead heir to the throne, Dimitri. Once leaving, another Dimitri appears and takes over the position of Tsar, after a lot of discussing how true his claim was. There is a lot of back and forth about whether he is of God or of the devil, and the Doctor, along with a man of faith, who is the son of the woman we met earlier, Oksana, make their way to discover that this Dimitri is a fake, using the body of another man of faith who was like a brother to Oksana's son. The false Dimitri has been assimilated into a mechanical species who also work a lot like the Slovene, infiltrating a planet and both using and selling the goods. The leader of these robots poses as Dimitri's wife, who seeks to unite the Polish and Russian people, as there was much animosity between the two at that time. A large number of robots appearing as Polish people to fit in. There is a fight, and eventually Dimitri rejects his false personality and dies. The robots, no longer having their anchor, are destroyed. This story was well written, with a focus on the characters and a great historical setting, but didn't really stick with me all that well. I honestly can't remember half the names of the characters. The Doctor was good in the story, he had good moments and the acting was as good as ever, but he misses many moments with the cast. since a lot of them are forgettable, and Oksana could get a little annoying sometimes, but when confronting Dimitri, he does have some nice, funny and snappy dialogue. But much like the story is a little forgettable. Dimitri, or the titular False Dimitri, was a good antagonist and had a good narrative arc. His duology within himself was entertaining and engaging to watch. Well, listen to. Joined with a good performance from the actor. The others, such as Oksana and her son, were fine. Had a lot of emotional moments, but weren't as notable as other characters from this box set. So nothing offensively bad here, but not a lot amazing either. So in conclusion, an inoffensive story with ideas I found interesting, but didn't feel fully realised to its full potential. The characters were consistent and performed well, but not notable. I'll give Series 2, Episode 2, The False Dimitri by Sarah Grishala, a 6 out of 10. Lastly for this box set is Episode 3, Auld Lang Syne, by Tim Foley. Mandy Litherland and her family joined together for New Year's at an old house connected to their childhoods that is now only free for booking 1 day per year, just happening to be New Year's. Mandy gets close to the strange caretaker of the house called the Doctor, who year by year re-invite the family back. On one trip, the Doctor gifts Mandy a device and asks her to take it and bring it back the next year. Once returned, she and the Doctor are attacked by ghostly entities. Eventually, on one occasion, the Doctor and Mandy jump from one time period to another, using the house as doorways. Apparently, this house merged with a time ship. It's malfunctioning, and the ghostly beings are representative of the time ship's antibodies. After this runaround, they find one final antibody. Mandy's Auntie Sue's boyfriend, Frank, who was only ever seen at the house. Once a boy who the house constructed to have fun with them as children, he reappeared for the first time the family vacationed at the house for New Year's. Both Sue and the Doctor making sure they come back every year to see him. Frank was returned by the house to interact with Sue. Since the first time they came, she had just gone through a big breakup with her current boyfriend, and had referred to Frank as an old flame. The story ends with Mandy going back through one of the doors to see her great aunt Bet, who joined them every year but the final one, since she unfortunately passed away. After a fantastic scene between the two, Sue and Frank say their final goodbyes as to keep him alive, so to speak. She needs to be at the house. The Doctor stabilising the house and time ship, meaning that she can never leave. Although Mandy seems like prime companion material, she leaves the Doctor and joins Sue and Frank in the gardens to sing Auld Lang Syne. Us hearing many more voices, as her great-aunt Bet said previously that on the grounds you could hear other voices, like singing with ghosts. Christopher is great here as 9, and this story lets him exemplify his presence and gives him a great amount of chemistry with Mandy to work with. The Doctor already being set up allows the story to build Mandy up more, making their moments together better established and more entertaining. Mandy herself, played by Leah Brotherhead, is great here. Much like the rest of the characters, this story sets her up well with her interactions to the other characters, like specified with the Doctor before. Her attitude and being the emotional focus of the story makes it an entertaining and engrossing listen, and is written quite realistically. Great Aunt Bet was played by Wendy Craig, and played as the typical grumpy old relative, but her connection to the characters and the past of the house makes her performance quite emotional and entertaining. Once again, Frank and Sue, played by Greg Johnson and Hayley Tamadon, did the same as the other two, although are given a little less to work with, both in the performance area and in the story, but neither were distractingly bad. This story does well to set up the characters, their relationships, and the setting over a long period of the story, making it so that when the story does switch to the crazy time-hopping area, it does feel a little rushed. A story like this I think would work better as a two-parter, with great emotional focus and engaging characters with an emotional core to Mandy that makes the whole thing meaningful. even if the focus is moved to Frank and Sue later on. So as I said, a little rushed and patched together, but both parts of the story work well, even with such a small cast. So I'll give Series 2, Episode 3, Auld Lang Syne by Tim Foley a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you everybody so much for watching this review. Please like the video if you liked it, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, ring the notification bell so you're told every single time that I make an upload. Write a comment down below if you wish, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Toast. A little piece of toast. Because there's so much to choose from. There's brown bread, white bread, all sorts of wholemeal bread. It comes in funny packages with writing on the side.